Today we're talking about the new Baby TRX and the all-new Tacoma TRD Pro. Plus, our very first guest on the show, the designer behind the Miata, the one Mr. Bob Hall. But first, Red Bull's F1 team just took a major hit. Welcome to the Big Three.
Big Four today.
We got a dog today?
Yeah, first. Is this the first dog on the show?
Yeah.
All right. This is Mello, but we call him Snoochie. So,
Does he have other nicknames?
Stinky
Man, Mr. Bongo.
Yeah.
Mr. Bongo is a pretty good nickname.
Yeah, Branchiciano. It depends.
Did that come from that internet pronunciation tutorial video?
No, it just the dog nicknames just kind of they flow.
Yeah.
It totally depends on the time of day.
What he's eating.
Yeah.
Comes and goes.
How much I've been drinking.
So those voices you hear are Max Maddox and Jimmy Hilton.
Hey.
Hello.
Nolan and James are out this week, but we are blessed to have our creative director and creative producer here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good title?
Yeah. Producer.
He's a producer.
You're a producer, but you also do, you're
Creative
in the shop
stuff. Yeah.
doing stuff.
He's a really creative guy.
Yeah.
He's been with us for a long time.
6 years.
I think you started before I did.
No, you were there when I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max, same. We've all been here for about
very
the same
long
time.
5.5 years, something like that.
I remember your first day.
Mm-hmm. The first time, my first week at Donut, Jimmy gave me a ride to the Christmas party in his Miata.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest thing ever. It was my first time in a Miata. And
that
that's
was
when
the
I found
White Claw one?
That was
No, that was the red one. That was Little Red.
That was before he had
wow.
the White Claw Miata. And then later on, Jimmy wrapped his Miata with a White Claw livery.
Yeah, for anyone interested in donut lore. How was your weekend, guys?
Dude, good. I went to Air and Water, the Porsche show.
Yeah.
Which was formerly known as Lufka Cult, but now water-cooled Porsches are in again. So they have the whole show dedicated to basically every Porsche.
Yeah. I was wondering when that was going to happen because air-cooled Porsches are too expensive for the average man right now.
It was one of those things where I didn't think that I would go to it and think that I wanted a Porsche. And then I did. And then you go home and you find out that the worst Porsche is still...
It's still great.
$90,000.
Yeah.
Alex and I were... I went with Alex, one of our producers, and we were kind of scheming ways that we could buy a Porsche. And we thought of this plan, and feel free to poke holes in this, but a group of 5 really good friends all go in on a Porsche.
Right.
You could do it with any car. I mean, let's say you wanted a Mustang.
It's a timeshare.
Yeah. So it'd be a timeshare for cars. Okay.
It
with
sounds
your
like
best
a
friends.
movie, like a rom-com featuring Ed Helms and Bruno Mars.
I don't know. I mean, it feels viable though. So I don't know. We're scheming.
Yeah.
Maybe buy a 997, 996 Carrera. I don't know. We got some
Could
ideas.
be
That'd be
doable.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would get messy though? Having so many co-owners?
You just got to set the expectations ahead of time. You can do it on you get it for a whole week, or you can choose the day. You have a calendar. I think you could probably figure it out. You have to be really good friends though, because
yeah, or pick people that wouldn't drive it a lot, but would throw money towards fixing it.
Maybe don't pick somebody who is going to curb rash the wheels a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit. You do not want that. Definitely not.
I know
Jimmy, would that be you? No, you take really.
No,
good
I
care
take
of your stuff.
really good care of my stuff.
I know a couple people around here who might have curbed a lot of wheels.
That's. I'm not a for that.
But they're not on this podcast today.
Jimmy, what'd you do this weekend?
I did a lot of foodie activities.
Whoa.
I didn't do any car stuff. No, I went to Scopa, the Italian restaurant in Venice.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, pretty good.
How are the chicken tenders there?
There was no chicken tenders.
Oh.
Yeah, margarita was good.
I'm out then.
Yeah. Then I went to Heidi Lau Hot Pot on Saturday.
Wow, man.
Yeah. And then Sunday I did some sushi. So
You're eating out a lot this weekend.
yeah, it was a lot of it was a lot of dinner places, a lot of lunch places. It was great. It was a great.
Do you ever
weekend.
cook at home?
Not me. I'm not a big cooking person. I need to watch a few YouTube videos.
Does Devin cook?
Yeah.
Devin does cook. Yeah. She's a great cook.
That's Jimmy's future wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a little, went to a Tiffany & Co. this weekend too.
Oh, engagement stuff. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa,
Jimmy
dude.
was showing me pictures. I don't know if you want this on the podcast. Jimmy was showing me pictures. He was like, hey, look what I did this weekend. He shows me a picture of his girlfriend's finger with a ring on it. And I'm like, dude,
nice.
congratulations.
No,
Congrats, man.
We were just sizing up the rings.
Yeah. No, you don't. There's no commitment in that.
Yeah.
And they were all blood diamonds.
Yeah. I told the lady, I said, look, it needs to be a blood diamond. If it's not, we're going to have some problems.
Jimmy's the worst person at donut. So Red Bull's F1 team was dealt a huge blow on Thursday when Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey announced he was leaving the team. Newey is one of the greatest designers in F1 history and has played a major role in Red Bull's recent dominance and championship seasons with both Williams and McLaren. This is honestly, do you guys follow F1 at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so my understanding is that he's a guy that basically made the car that has given Red Bull a bunch of success.
He's the reason that so many teams have won, just because he's like his attention to detail with aero and chassis stuff and basically just the whole package. He's got such like he can see the forest for the trees kind of thing.
Mm.
He just, he knows what to do and it baffles every other team. And so he's one of the reasons that Red Bull is like untouchable for the past couple seasons. And this is like a huge deal. And it all kind of stems from, maybe it doesn't all stem from this, but like Christian Horner had a scandal.
The creepy guy, yeah.
Yeah. You know him as a creepy guy.
Creepy guy. The nipple dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Which, by the way,
nipple pics.
Did you see the video of the guy celebrating his darts victory?
Yes. What? He's got a little hat.
There's this guy. Okay, so professional darts. This guy throws 320s, which is like the best. That's the best thing you can do. It's
three triple 20s.
3 triple 20s.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the shot that he wanted. And he celebrated by pulling down his shirt, and he had a custom hole cut in his shirt.
A little hatch.
So his nipple could hang out, and then he
makes it jam.
His nipple.
He makes it wiggle.
The whole crowd.
It's the dart world is so weird. Like I don't want to. I get,
But maybe.
But there's like that 16-year-old that won the world championship that looks like he's 42. And it's just like a different breed of people that are like, I might be like kind of chunky and unathletic, but like
this is what matters right here.
Yeah.
That is all that matters.
I just think it's funny that those people are like on the world athlete stage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great.
Are they in the Olympics?
No. But,
next year, probably.
Anyways, we're talking about F1.
When are they putting that in the Olympics?
So Adrian Newey has a total of 13 World Drivers' Championships and 12 World Constructors' Championships under his belt, which is probably the record.
Sounds like
I'm going to
lot.
go ahead and say that's the most that lead engineer has ever had.
I'm not going to even attempt to fact check that.
Is that true?
Tell
Leave
us.
some angry comments if you're an F1 nerd.
That's called engagement farming, by the way.
Well, anyways, the BBC reported that Newey is leaving because he feels unsettled by the ongoing situation involving sexual harassment allegations, which we talked about with Christian Horner. It's kind of tearing the team apart a little bit, and Max Verstappen's dad is kind of seeding this.
He's not going to any of the races at all, right?
He's protesting the races because he doesn't like Horner that much, and it's weird because they're like such a winning team that it's like, why are you trying to meddle with this so much? But there's like rumors that he kind of worked with this woman to like leak these pictures and texts and stuff.
Verstappen's dad.
Yes, Jos Verstappen, who was also an F1 driver in the 90s, didn't do honestly. He didn't win at all, really. But yeah, so a lot of this unrest is kind of, he's like playing puppet master with this a little bit.
Interesting.
Can't wait to see the movie about this in 20 years.
Who do you think would play Max Verstappen?
Michael Cera.
Yeah.
He's like 47 years old.
I think he could do it. He could wear a little mustache. Or does Max Verstappen have a mustache?
No.
Okay.
No.
He could though.
Yeah.
Put on like a cool wig or whatever. And
I suppose he could have a mustache. Yeah. So anyways, there are rumors that Newey is going to go to Ferrari, even though he said that he doesn't want to move to Italy. I don't think he's going to go to Ferrari, but that would be the most logical choice. That or Mercedes, I guess. He lives in England right now. He's an English bloke.
That's why he doesn't want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
This is my fantasy. Cadillac is trying to get into F1.
Cadillac.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Their car looks, I mean, they teased like a little fin of it and it's all black. And I'm like, oh, I would root for Cadillac. But they're teaming up with Mario Andretti and they just bought a huge facility in England. I think my perfect scenario is Adrian Newey goes to Cadillac and works with Andretti and then helps them get going like in their inaugural season. That'd be sick.
We saw Andretti a couple weekends
We saw
ago.
Mario Andretti at the IndyCar race in Long Beach.
I saw the one photo of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just him sitting on the paddock wall. Yeah.
Audrey was sitting next to me and she's like, is that Mario Andretti? And we looked over and like, yeah, I think so. And we all Googled him and we're like, yeah, that looks like it. And we all took the same picture of him just
And that's,
side of his face.
and that's the one photo I
We
saw.
have like, there's probably 30 pictures that came from our booth.
Yeah.
That same angle of Mario Andretti.
That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't get to go to that, the pit wall thing, but it seemed really fun. You got to listen in on the headphones?
Yeah, they weren't talking though.
Oh,
They were just super quiet the whole race, I guess. Really like locked in. So
Yeah.
which is how it should be, I think.
yeah. That was a really fun experience. I hope IndyCar lets us do that more often. And F1, get us in your races. We'll do a podcast there,
That'd
right?
be sweet.
I'd do a monster truck personally.
Oh, that'd be
Anything.
sick. So, in addition to Ferrari being maybe one of the potential teams that Adrian Newey would go to, Aston Martin has made Newey an offer. That would also make sense since it's in England.
Mhm.
They're headquartered there.
He doesn't want to move anywhere. He likes
doesn't-
being in England.
Yeah, I get that, dude.
Mhm.
The older I get, the less I want to move. I've moved 10 times in LA and I've only lived here for
Whoa.
14 years.
Moving is such a traumatic thing too. You always just
Yeah.
think like, oh yeah, you just like hire a guy to put all of your stuff in a truck and then
Yeah.
you find boxes that have just been living with you for 8 houses. You're never going to open them, but you don't want to.
Yeah,
leave
and then
them.
they're like, where do you want this to go? And it's like something you haven't seen in 7 years. You're like, the trash?
But you don't throw it away. You just put it in this one closet and then you're never going to use that closet for
Yeah.
anything else because it's got all your boxes of everything in there.
The amount of times I've moved my Guitar Hero drum set versus how many times I've actually used it.
It's going to be worth something
Yeah.
one day.
One
okay?
day. One day.
So anyways, Verstappen is able to break his contract if certain senior officials like Helmut Marko leave, but he isn't believed to have the same exit clause with Newey.
Helmut Marko.
Yeah.
Helmet.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
I wish you guys were into F1.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's screaming in their car listening to us right now and not knowing
Yeah.
these guys.
Max Verstappen doesn't have a mustache, dude.
He might.
With new power units under development for the 2026 regulation changes, it's hard to imagine the timing could be any worse for Red Bull or better for another team. This is honestly like, if you talk about like timing for this, everything's gonna change in like a year and a half.
gonna
Super
be-
pivotal time right now
Yeah.
for the design of
It's
the
going to be
car.
exciting.
All the cars have to change to accommodate the new regulations. So like this dude is like, it's kind of akin to like an NFL player, like on his contract year, at the peak of his game.
And they're about to design a whole new football.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not making it out of pigskin anymore.
It's like 2 footballs with a string connecting them. And
made-
everyone's going to have to relearn how to throw them.
made out of
Peyton
goat
Manning's going
leather.
to have a lot to say about it. So you guys, not big F1 fans, but do you like trucks?
I've been in a few trucks and I've had a pretty good time.
They don't like trucks either.
I like trucks.
Oh, Jimmy loves trucks.
I like trucks. I like big trucks. I like small trucks.
Well, you had low truck this weekend.
I
What
did.
were
I
you
was-
doing with that?
I was driving low truck this weekend. I had to move an engine that I'm going to swap into my E30
Yeah.
to the engine swapping shop, Castro Motorsports. Shout out Chris. What's up, dude?
That's sick. It's a M54?
S52.
S52.
James gave me a pretty good deal on his S52, which used to be in his car and is no longer in his car because he put an S54 in there, which will be in an upcoming video.
Oh, can we talk about it?
We can probably talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
So James bought an E30, which is cool because I have an E30 and it's cool to have friends that have the same car as you.
Yeah.
And Yeah, he just like decided to completely rebuild the entire thing, even though it was perfect and it was his favorite car that he's ever had. So S52 came out. He redid the entire interior. He changed the
recoated the underside too.
Recoated the underside, painted the engine bay, leather wrap dashboard. Like full build.
And the full custom Recaros with the red and black houndstooth. Is so sick.
He's so sick. He bought the Recaro seats, that have like the orange stripes on them, like the really sick ones.
Yeah,
and he just ripped it off and he said, dude, red houndstooth. It's pretty cool.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Well, I'm a bit of a rock and roller. I love collecting vintage Porsche 911s.
That's Magnus.
It's really the most functional sports car.
Yeah. What is it? Usable power?
Usable performance.
Yeah.
It's industrial design at its finest.
We love Magnus Walker.
Yeah, he's great.
But he's just so easy to do an impression of.
I just think of Alfred every.
Anyways, we're talking about trucks, right?
Trucks.
Trucks.
So Dodge recently announced that they were stopping production of their Hemi engines. But
the Brotherhood's not going to like that.
Oh, God.
It's a rule that we have to mention the Brotherhood at least one time every episode on this podcast. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. I'm just doing my part,
Yeah. So they stopped production of the Hemis, but there's a silver lining. Last Wednesday, Ram unveiled the 2025 1500 RHO. This new variant replaces the outgoing Hellcat V8 powered TRX. The truck keeps the TRX's fortified frame and off-road oriented suspension and uses the high-output 540 horsepower version of Stellantis' 3-liter twin-turbo inline-six Hurricane engine.
Whoa.
How do we feel about that?
So they took the Hellcat TRX truck.
Yeah.
And then they put a turbo 6-cylinder in it.
Yeah.
Excuse you, sir.
Whoa.
Sorry, he's got his making his chihuahua noises. Do you want me to kick him out?
No, I love it.
I think he likes the new...
I think he likes that truck.
Yeah,
dude.
he likes that truck.
Yeah, he's getting risky. So it's got a 540 horsepower 6-cylinder instead of a V8.
So the Hellcat, what makes 700, 800 horsepower?
707-ish horsepower. I think the truck makes maybe like 710 or something like that.
Yeah. So this is a little bit of a downgrade.
So it's 540 horsepower.
That's a lot
of power. Yeah,
that's a ton of power.
That's a ton of power. I think
I don't think any truck like 10 years ago could make that kind of power.
I mean, maybe the V10, the Viper truck. Why am I blanking on this?
Do you want me to kick him out? Sorry. Sir.
We get it. You like trucks.
For anyone that
he's been
listening right now, there's a dog going crazy on the couch. You hear little dog noises.
He's 49% Chihuahua. So
he's going to Chihuahua.
Yeah.
It's got 540 horsepower, but it's 150 pounds lighter than the TRX, which is
that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually I read their website, and this is crazy. Offers more horsepower per dollar than any other premium off-road full-size pickup truck.
Okay.
And then if you read the fine print, it also says excluding other FCA vehicles and BEVs.
So nothing from Stellantis?
Yeah. So if you exclude the TRX, any electric vehicle, it has to be full size 4x4 and for off-road purposes.
That's a lot of qualifiers.
Yeah.
They've got parameters.
Yeah. That's a big asterisk. That big asterisk is doing a lot of work.
But truck guys are going to see that and think, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's going to end up on some like plaques at car shows 20 years down the line.
1 of 14 made on a Tuesday afternoon.
I think it's cool that inline sixes are coming back.
I like inline sixes.
Yeah.
Inline sixes.
We're just talking about
engine.
the S52.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the best inline sixes ever built. It's great. It's bulletproof.
Slap 2 turbos on there. Now you throw that in a pickup truck.
Yeah. It might be a little bit less reliable with the twin turbo setup. But, Hellcat owners are going to break whatever they drive.
I think it could still survive a couple of street takeovers, personally.
Oh, definitely.
Are we going to see this at street takeovers, you think?
I don't know. I mean, do we see trucks at street takeovers anyway?
I don't go to takeovers because I don't want to get arrested or hit.
Jimmy, have you been to a takeover?
I went a long time ago to a takeover.
Did you really?
In like 2016, 2017.
Did you like look it up or did you stumble upon it?
It was the Paul Walker Memorial Meet in September. I forget the date, But yeah, I didn't think it was going to get crazy, and then it got crazy.
They
and then,
did an illegal
You didn't think
takeover.
a takeover was gonna get crazy.
Well, it was more like it was the Paul Walker Memorial Meet. That was
Yeah.
the name of it.
And then it turned into a takeover.
Yeah, and then it turned into.
What if we kissed at the Paul Walker Memorial Street takeover?